right, good morning. Welcome to MedStar Harbor Hospital. It's an absolute honor to serve as the host for today's event. As you can see behind me, the wonderful landscape that we enjoy here, especially the employees of Harbor Hospital and our families and, of course, our patients. We'd also like to welcome some distinguished members today. Mayor Scott, sir, thank you for being here with us today. We're also privileged to have Ms. Tierney from FEMA Region 3. We also have leadership from the Maryland Department of Emergency Management with us, as well as Executive Director for South Baltimore Gateway Partnership here with us today, Mr. Brad Rogers. You know, partnership is a key and essential word, and you'll hear me say that just for a couple of brief seconds here before I introduce our next speaker, because partnership means so much to us here at Harbor, and it should be no surprise as I provide you just a couple of examples. One of which is the partnership with the Maryland Department of Natural Resources, where recently we received $1.3 million in funding to install, what you can see behind me, are rain gardens for a stormwater project. And by way of that installation throughout the campus, not just behind me, but all over the campus here at Harbor, you will notice, or you will see as part of our metric, we filter approximately 5 million gallons of stormwater each year by way of that project. Also, you'll see here on the campus, we have an urban tree canopy program. And by way of a donation support from the South Baltimore Gateway Partnership of roughly $50,000, we've installed those trees throughout the campus, which are very beautiful. It's awesome to have that shade here. And for 2 years running, we've received from the National Arbor Day Foundation their healthcare award, which isn't given out very often, especially to a number of hospitals. So partnership means a key and essential term for Harbor and what it means to us here. You know, going forward, as you notice behind me, in a partnership with a number of agencies through the grant process and funding going forward, it should be no surprise to anyone here, the middle branch of the Patapsco River through the living shoreline. And with funding already underway, we look forward to seeing that project come to fruition. We are privileged to serve members here of the Cherry Hill community and the Middle Branch community. We look forward to all that we can continue to do for our constituents going forward. And with that, I would like to introduce to you the Executive Director for the South Baltimore Gateway Partnership, Mr. Brad Rogers.
Hello, I'm Brad Rogers. I'm the Executive Director of the South Baltimore Gateway Partnership. We're an innovative economic development authority funded by casino revenues, working in neighborhoods across South Baltimore. And working collaboratively with the City of Baltimore and Parks and People, we are transforming the middle branch of the Patapsco into Baltimore's next great waterfront, with 11 miles of parks, trails, and resiliency features wrapping all the way around from Port Covington down to Masonville Cove. And we are hugely honored that FEMA would choose this location among all others to announce the next round of funding for their BRIC program, Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities. And that's because in the previous round, as many of you know, we submitted a nearly $32 million grant application under the BRIC program for the Middle Branch Resiliency Initiative, one of the largest urban waterfront restoration projects in the country. And while this is not an announcement of that funding, we've been told that that announcement is coming soon. And so we're very excited to come back with everybody in the not too distant future to celebrate what we hope will be a major funding announcement. But the critical thing I want to say about BRIC is this. The BRIC program is exactly what's right with government today. It is federal leadership and state leadership and local leadership coming together collaboratively to solve the pressing issues of our day. In our case, sea level rise, flooding, storms, communities of history that are in the direct line of climate change today. And so working together, we are protecting those communities from future disaster. To talk more about that, I would like to proudly introduce our fantastic partner, Mayor Brandon Scott.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Brad. And Brad, as you know very well, you and the South Baltimore Gateway Partnership have been true partners to the city during my 2 years in office and beyond, and we've seen the impact borne out across the South Baltimore Gateway Partnership communities, and that is no more evident than here in Cherry Hill and on the Middle Branch. Today's announcement clearly demonstrates that your leadership played a key role in bringing this opportunity to Baltimore. We look forward to continuing to hearing more about Middle Branch in the not so distant future. I would also like to thank Brad Chambers and everyone here at MedStar Health and Harbor Hospital for first hosting us this morning, and for the tremendous work that is done to address the health and wellness of people here in South Baltimore each and every day. Harbor Hospital is not just an exemplary healthcare facility, but also an innovating leader in green infrastructure and environmental stewardship. Your interventions here around stormwater are improving the health of the Middle Branch, the Chesapeake, and beyond. And lastly, I want to welcome Administrator Tierney and Secretary Strickland to Baltimore and thank them for making the Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities Programs, or BRIC, available for cities like Baltimore. Today's announcement is truly exciting because for us in Baltimore, BRIC is helping us achieve the things that we know we need to do in the face of real climate change. The Middle Branch Resiliency Initiative leverages local funding, leadership, and ingenuity to create an unprecedented partnership with state and federal agencies. By collaborating with the Maryland Department of Environmental Management and FEMA, we are assembling $47 million for nature-based resiliency structures here at Harbor Hospital, across the river of our waterfront, and at our Brooklyn community, and north of here with BGE at their Spring Garden campus in South Baltimore. This project is both innovative and visionary, and yet it is also a long time in the making. The goal of restoring the ecology of the Middle Branch, both for its own sake and for the health and enjoyment of South Baltimore residents and those not from South Baltimore like me who like to kayak along the Middle Branch, goes back more than 15 years to the Middle Branch Master Plan. And now this goal is being renewed and expanded upon in the current Reimagined Middle Branch planning effort that you heard Brad talk about earlier. That is why Baltimore City is supporting the MBRI project through our Department of Public Works with $5 million from our Stormwater Enterprise Fund. This is not just some distant promise. You will see this work take place here in the Middle Branch in the next 3 to 5 years. In the meantime, we are also working to address inland flooding in neighborhoods along our creeks and streams. That work is being led by our fabulous OEM Director, Chief Wallace, who has joined us here today, and we will keep working until South Baltimore and the rest of Baltimore are protected from flooding and storms, and we look forward to further collaboration with FEMA and MDEM to make Baltimore a national leader in the field of climate resiliency. Thank you so much, and I'll turn it now over to our fabulous Secretary Strickland.
Good morning. My name is Russ Strickland. I'm the Secretary now of the Maryland Department of Emergency Management. And I'd first like to give you greetings from the Governor and the Lieutenant Governor, as well as our legislature. Our legislature has been very keen on climate change and the building of resilience within this state. And this past year has created several pieces of legislation that are going to assist us as we further push our efforts and our missions toward that. With that, we do have and will have the Office of Resilience within the Department of Emergency Management as we move forward in the future. And that will give us the opportunity to capitalize even more on what you've heard so far this morning, and that's partnerships. It's time that we bring all of our efforts together, we work our synergies together so that we can create projects that are large community-based projects such as this one that we're announcing today. It's an incredible opportunity, and we look forward to working with each and every one of the partners as we move forward with that. You know, emergency management's responsibility is to be with our local jurisdictions before, during, and after disasters. And this is a perfect example of why we're here before a disaster, but also learning from previous disasters we've had. Our number one threat in the state of Maryland is flooding. As I rode down 95 this morning, I was only thinking about how this is a culmination or a continuation of the constant problem we have in this state with flooding. And it's efforts like this with mitigation, and for us mitigation is the center of the universe, that's what we're going to focus on. It's the opportunity to make things better before a disaster occurs. And if a disaster does occur, we have built the resilience necessary such that our recovery efforts will be less expensive and less costly and less injurious. So with that, it's been a tremendous opportunity to be a part of this. We kind of joked a little bit as we were lining up here this morning as to who's going to say what and who's going to steal from the next person. And I don't want to go too far into the history of the Building Resilient Infrastructure Community Program, but it is a tremendous opportunity for the nation. It has been beyond a tremendous opportunity for the state of Maryland. That, coupled with the Storm Act that's coming from FEMA, coupled with our revolving loan account in the future, mitigation will be much more available to all areas of the state. And we really, really appreciate this large community-based operation here with the partnerships in the Middle Branch for Baltimore City. So with that, it's a real honor for me to introduce MaryAnn Tierney, who is the FEMA Region 3 Administrator, a strong supporter of mitigation, a strong supporter of being there each and every time that we need help in the state of Maryland, which is beyond our capacity and our capabilities. So with that, I'll turn it over to MaryAnn.
Good morning. On behalf of the Biden-Harris administration, I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to be here today, and also to recognize the great partnership we have with Maryland, MedStar, the Resiliency Initiative, and the City of Baltimore. So thank you for that. Today, I'm here to announce that FEMA is awarding $31.92 million for the South Baltimore Gateway Partnership Fund to fund Stage 1 of the Middle Branch Resiliency Initiative. This initiative is going to be important, as everybody's mentioned, for the long-term sustainability and resiliency of this area. There are significant nature-based solutions included in this funding, which includes vegetative berms, living shorelines, restored watersheds, and aquatic habitats. So that's really great that we're looking at nature-based solutions, which is an important part of mitigation and resiliency, building in concert with nature, not in conflict with nature. There'll be a variety of benefits of this, such as the limiting of flooding, which, as we know, Baltimore is very at risk for flooding, as is the entire state of Maryland, improving water quality, and maintaining vehicular access to the hospital during flooding events, which, again, the hospital is a piece of critical infrastructure, so being able to fund something that will allow the hospital to operate even during flooding events is an important part of maintaining the resiliency of the city and this area. We look forward to continued partnerships through our Building Resilience Infrastructure and Community Grant Program. This initiative is one of 3 being funded in Region 3 at this time. It's alongside 2 projects in Washington, D.C. to also increase their resilience. So with that, everybody kind of took a lot of what I was going to say, which is great. That's how, it's important that FEMA be supportive of our partners. So I want to, again, thank everybody for coming out today for this. We look forward to seeing the fruits of the labor of this funding and to continue partnership with Maryland, the city, and the hospital. So thank you.